Okay, today we're tying a Bubblegum Stonefly Nymph. I'm using a size 8 1760 daiichi hook, some 140 denier Danville thread, and we're going to start off with some biots for the tails. I put them on one at a time. Keep them short, just like a natural, and something to kind of stress on is don't be building your fly too far down the shank of the hook, or the bend of the hook, sorry. Alright, next we're going to attach fine wire here, fine copper wire, to make ribbing. I'm going to cut it here so that I can use the rotating feature on my legs. And we're going to put on some dubbing on halfway up the shank. I'm going to build up a slight taper towards the front. This adds a tiny bit of weight here. This way we don't have to use a bead head, which would probably make it too heavy. I like tying these flies without beads because they take quite a while to tie, and once you lose them, I mean if you tie them too heavy, they're way easier to lose. Anyways, this part's a little optional, but I like to flatten this out sometimes. And then I'll take a marker, Sharpie here, and I'll color the top. Just like a natural. It's going to give us a nice little two-tone effect. Next material is going to be for the wing pad. We're going to use turkey tail. I'm going to cut a nice little section about 1/4 inch, 6 millimeter. We're going to attach it with the dull side facing up here. Keep it simple. And we're going to move on to the legs. I like to do the back ones together, fold that material back, and a couple wraps gets it good. I'm going to keep it long for now, and then we'll come back and trim it later. Now for the front legs, I kind of do this on one side at a time. You don't have to worry so much about how they're pointing at this stage. I'm doing this pretty quick, but I've done this quite many times. Sure, it might take a while to get them all perfect, but just remember the fish don't really care which direction the legs are pointing. In fact, you could tie these without legs and they probably work just as good. But anyways, now I got my legs detached. I'm gonna dub the thorax section. Usually I do this with the fly upside down and just focus on making it nice and neat underneath. You don't want too many gaps or the material showing. We're going to completely cover this thorax area, and we're going to use the dubbing to kind of make the legs point perfectly where we want them to. Alright, the next thing here is I'm going to take this marker again and I'm going to fill in on top where the wing pad's going to go. And this is in case there's a split in it or it looks imperfect, or sometimes you catch so many fish on these that they get chewed off. So put some marker on top and just fold this back, or forward I should say. And we're going to attach it. Turns is enough there. Fold it back, a couple turns in there. Up more. I'm going to cut this off. And we're going to put this aside and save it for the next fly. Just remember to give yourself lots of space around the eye so you don't crowd it. It'd be a shame if you spend a lot of the time making a nice beautiful fly and in the end you can't even tie it onto your line. I'm going to do a double whip finish at the end. My thread just broke. To finish her off, I'm going to cut the legs short to about 3 or 4 segments. Just like that. There you go, a nice little two-tone bubblegum stonefly nymph.